Alright, another Wargame video. It's my US deck versus an Israeli deck. So we'll get started. Fast forward to the beginning here. Past the deployment. What we're going to do with these choppers is land troops over here. Move some infantry over here. But most of my force is going up here to control this area. Slow it down. I brought the DAP to provide anti-air support against any enemy helos that might be coming in. But his are going a different direction this way. Landing some rangers and some light riflemen with their light ATGM they have. Not the best, but it's pretty effective against APCs and infantry vehicles. These helicopters come in from up here. My PVADs engages them, takes the ATGM plane out. His rocket helicopters stun my PVADs, and with the next stop I'll destroy it. They're also critical to get a critical hit on my Abrams, present its firing here. So close combat with my riflemen and my rangers. And he's being supported by this blazer. My troops are being supported by my tanks coming up, firing on his group of infantry that are caught out in the open. My rangers get destroyed. My light riflemen are still firing their ATGM, but they're getting shaken. Their morale is shaken, so they're going to get more inaccurate. And now they're stunned. The missile went off course because they were stunned. And now they're panicked, so the missile accuracy is now down to 36%. So they just keep missing. His infantry is trying to retreat back into the forest here, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it. I should have brought up my tanks to directly engage these, but I was worried it might be a heavy tank, so I decided to smoke it off. My riflemen are moving in to engage his infantry or whatever might be in this force. Unfortunately, it's supported by these infantry carriers. Their APCs are far better than the APCs I have. They have a front armor of 10. I need a tank to take these guys out. The rocket the riflemen have just isn't good enough. And they have 3 machine guns. So it's just shredding my riflemen. And my riflemen are panicked and just not doing any damage. So they get depleted. I have some infantry in this town. Some riflemen. And has a pretty large force in this forest. He's being kind of apprehensive, but he should probably attack. It would be better for him if he did. He could probably overrun that town pretty easily. Again, these heavy infantry carriers, I bring in a Strike Eagle, and I don't destroy much. It wasn't a very good strike, actually. He's bringing his recon has spotted my tank here, my anti-infantry tank, I'll call it. It's not really meant to engage other armor, but it has a very powerful gun against infantry, and does pretty well against vehicles. So his infantry's still in that forest, but I've shelled it quite a bit. There's only 9 individual soldiers left. Now moving up this tank, or where am I? changed my mind. Back. So I have this scout right here to watch this road. He can send guys this way and get infantry into this town that can threaten my spawn. He's bringing up a tank. This tank is significantly has better armor than my tank. Not much better of a gun though, which is good. But I would say it outclasses this tank that I have, my MBT-70. But fortunately I get a critical on him and jam his weapon system. So that's good for me, obviously. His recon squad is a 2-man sniper team. So every time his guys get visual on my rifleman, he tries to take a pot shot. Fortunately, they don't remain visible from me. My riflemen come in with a rocket, hit side armor twice, destroying it. I've run more infantry. And I'm bringing up my tanks now to help support my assault here. Unfortunately, I always make this mistake, it seems I've noticed on my playing style. I always forget to move up my air defense because I'm scared of it being sniped by a tank. But as I can see here, I'm not being engaged, so I need to be more aware of that. Because had this guy been in position, these helicopters coming up here would have been easy pickings. They're small helicopters, so they can't sustain too much cannon fire from this PVADs, from the 20mm mini cannon or minigun. See, that transport at close range took a forward armor shot. He brings in his helicopter, fires his tow missiles, but also smokes off his line of sight, breaking his missiles so he doesn't get any hits in there. I'm following up with my own smoke to continue protecting my tanks here. But I also block off my line of sight onto his helicopters. So I just retreat my tanks and keep my PVADs up just in case he moves in. Shoot down his scout helicopter. This front has kind of stabilized, or this area has stabilized. I'm calling in some more tanks and another infantry squad. My infantry squad, along with my 2 infantry squads, along with the transport, are moving up and just wiping out his infantry. He's trying to save his transport, which I don't. Makes a lot of sense, actually. He should probably be. That transport is so heavily armored, it'd probably do a lot to my infantry. But maybe he wants to save it for combined assault. I think he smoked this off, I don't remember though. I'm bringing in another ranger squad to put in here. And I'm bringing up my Patriot launcher. Sexy. Hard turn right there. Trying to roll the truck. Good job. His mortar is far heavier than mine. It has an HE power of 6. It's a 160mm mortar. The heaviest mortar I have is this 107, which has an HE power of 4. So he's assaulting this town I have right here. But the smoke has cut off any fire support he may have, and these guys are out in the open, just being cut to pieces. I'm trying to bring around this tank to engage them, and they get destroyed by its anti-infantry cannon. I'm also shelling here. I shelled here thinking they would still be alive, but they are dead. Alright, things have kind of settled down. So we'll speed it up a little bit. Okay, I'm smoking this off just in case, which is good. He had an ATGM team right there. Don't want to take a side armor hit to your tank. It's a good way to lose tanks quickly. I bring this in. So at this range, he probably has a high percentage to hit. And it misses 96% to hit. And it missed that first shot. That's just annoying. And he loses one guy to it because of it. Bringing in some supply to repair these light riflemen and also rearm their ATGMs. Should be smoking that off. That's kind of risky. My tank with its oil can has visual on his helicopter here, but it only has 15% accuracy. He brought a lone transport to try and take this town. That's not going to be very effective, and it dies, predictably. He's smoking off this road, which is also breaking his line of sight, so that works for me. It lowers the possibility of him being able to attack my supply vehicle. I brought more riflemen, and I'm following these riflemen back to the safety of this forest to repair it. And now I'm smoking that off. Bringing in some infantry here to put them in this forest, so I provide a little flank security to being engaged from. See, he could drive up infantry right here, disembark them, and they could come down in here. Really, I should put one in the town, but I didn't. These helicopters have a good position up here. They have good line of sight into this forest. If anything were to emerge on this side of it. These rocket pod helicopters are a significant threat to my artillery. Or, excuse me, my infantry and light vehicles. And they can also stun tanks and cause a lot of problems that way. Bringing up an anti-helicopter chopper. It's armed with some Stinger missiles. 4 of them. I'm dropping off my command infantry way back here to run them into this so they can't be seen. So he can't see them from his perspective. So he has no idea where they're landing. Smoking off this, but he has this. I see it right now. I saw these guys come in. Kind of not a good use because I'm putting at risk a 160 point plane to kill 25 points of infantry and vehicles. My light riflemen have fired their ATGM. It's about to hit this tow, this ATGM carrier. Slow down. Hits it. But this thing is armored, so it takes that shot. Too late to save those guys. Try to move. And the transport survives the bombing one. Wow, those things are impressive. Misses flying straight true. Misses. Last moment. Man, ATGMs are just... I mean, it's only 60% accuracy, so I guess you gotta expect one to miss and it destroys it. So, not bad. 2 out of 3. If that's... Didn't fire more. Took him 3 rockets to actually hit that transport. Resupplying, I believe I'm resupplying this group right here. Preparing him, replenishing their rockets. So. That transport just totally wrecking my infantry. Jeez, look at that. You only get it. Awesome. I have my replenished rifleman run back in to control this force. He's shelling, ordering these guys. It's not hitting close enough to hurt them, but it's hitting close enough to cause morale damage. Okay, gonna speed it up a little bit. To the next push. So he brought in his rocket helicopters, and I think he fired position into here because he didn't really hit anything, which is lucky for me. So it's nice to preserve infantry when you can. I've brought this these rangers and some light riflemen. I'm going to land them over here. Let's see if he sees them. Well, he sees one. For a brief moment, he could easily have missed that. Go back. Rangers are on the ground. Light riflemen are on the ground. And they're moving. Now, the light riflemen are regular infantry, so they can only run at 25 kilometers per hour. Which, actually, that's a lot higher than I thought it'd be. Oh, cool. Usually regular don't. Like, my infantry, my riflemen here can only run 20, and they're regular. Huh, interesting. I thought the training is what dictated the running speed. Cool. Well, that explains why those riflemen were able to keep, those light riflemen were able to keep up with these rangers. This is the kind of stuff I really like about this game. The helicopter insertion right there, and then they're moving in from an area that they might not your opponent might not necessarily expect an attack. I mean, he obviously knows now because I destroyed the vehicle there, so that's why he moved his trailblazer back, or his blazer back. I've moved in while I was occupied over there. I've completely moved into this forest. I have a infantry fighting vehicle with a powerful ATGM, some infantry support squad, and a couple squads of 3 squads of riflemen. It's faced off against some infantry here It's an ATGM with a it's fairly powerful ATGM, but no tanks. So I'm finally buying some rear security. Well, no, actually I did buy some. And I put some riflemen in there to guard my command squad. I've turned off the weapons on my command squad. It gives you a little bit more time if an enemy does get into your spawn or where your command unit is, because they won't start firing and reveal themselves. So they have to get pretty close in order to see it. He's shelling where he thinks my guys are. Fortunately, they are not there. I'm currently at +1. He could move infantry into here and put one of his own command vehicles into here. No, he does not. Looks like he's flanking. With the tank and some other vehicles. Unfortunately, the tank just wrecks my my LAV-25. Otherwise, it would have massacred those infantry carriers. My Eagle comes in, misses its opportunity, isn't able to get a bombing solution, and breaks off. I'm buying a Kiowa and an Apache to deal with these guys. So we'll watch this battle. There are a couple other battles going on. For example, I'm shelling. These things must be heavily armored too, because I would expect that to do more. I'm counterbarring his artillery, and I just took out one of his infantry squads. I bought one of my own infantry squads, bringing my Kiowa around my Apache, but he keeps breaking the line of sight with the missiles, so I keep missing. It's annoying, but good use. He was bringing in a supply. He was going to make this kind of a long campaign, or a supported incursion by my own scout again to replace the one that I lost. My artillery strike severely damaged these two things and panicked them, so they're going to be practically useless until that time. Until he can repair them and their morale is repaired. My Apache gets line of sight. First missile takes it to the front armor, takes it down to half. The second missile destroys it. 2 for 2, so that's nice. But it wasted 4 others trying to hit one to have stable line of sight. Bringing in those damn transports again to my rifleman. His ATGM kills my infantry fighting vehicle, and he gets a hit on my Abrams, and a critical hit, resetting its fire computer. All that does is severely affect the accuracy of the gun. I know he still has infantry in this town, so I'm sending in my APCs to probe it. This front's stable. My Rangers that I heli dropped in there found his command vehicle, and he did nullify my +1, and I just gained it back by destroying this. Destroying his command vehicle there. He's busy, probably dealing with these individual battles. So he doesn't notice the fact that I've taken out his command vehicle and have troops behind his lines. I'm shelling these vehicles, this tank. I have my rangers in here. I can see these guys. Unfortunately, they shoot that and reveal themselves in the rocket barrage. This helicopter was landed and just happened to be facing the right direction and obliterated it with a rocket barrage. My light infantry destroyed one of his AA pieces and effectively remove his AA cover. He has a heavy tank, his super heavy tank in this area. Tried to shell his mortar again. I do an airstrike on his infantry, kind of a waste really, in retrospect. I should have sent my infantry in, it would have been a cool little battle, but I also didn't want to risk the points. Trying to buy up along, you know, infantry engagement against potentially better infantry than mine. But in retrospect, I probably should. It would have been a fun little match. He's bringing in a helicopter strike, some rocket helicopters, and some ATGM helicopters along with a recon helicopter. They side hit my Abrams, one of my heavier Abrams with some ATGMs, killing it. His helicopters are being engaged by my Spags. Totally destroyed. So it's a failed assault. I killed them all. Bringing up my anti-air helicopter. Just in case there are more. Brought some more infantry here. Just to play here, just in case I missed anything. He apparently spotted this, so he's shelling it. I used my heavy artillery and destroyed those two mortars I heavily damaged earlier. He's trying to attack, move infantry in this forest, but out in the open they're being severely damaged by my infantry. He has two tanks providing support coming in from the side. Optical failure, nice. But my heavy tank moves up and blows it away. I don't think I bought a spray. I forgot to unload this troop carrier, and this is why that's bad. miniguns on the Blackhawks are really effective against infantry. Look how they're just melting that squad, even in the cover of the forest. They just totally cause a lot of damage. This infantry right here is support infantry. They have a grenade launcher and it's massacring my riflemen. But the miniguns on my Blackhawks are massacring them. Kind of an even exchange. Could have brought up the pad sheet to provide support, but the Hellfires on those are very supply expensive. He tries to attack my Blackhawks with some infantry, but they don't last very long. However, this thing, they can't really hurt. My Blackhawks can't hurt. He can obviously hurt my Blackhawks. Still +1. I actually got command infantry into here now. So I own this one, and I've neutralized these two. Again, if you put invest some points into here with some infantry and put a command vehicle, I would have to put my own troops into that forest. He's moving up his vehicles. Bring out my tanks. Because I see this is all coming. I should have turned off this supply. It's wasting supply on every time these guys fire. He's shelling my command infantry. Fortunately, he did not destroy it, but I already have a pretty commanding lead, 297 points to his 30. So I'm moving my tanks up aggressively. He still has his super heavy right here. My tank side shot it and caused severe damage to it. So my tank got hit in the front armor and it took it down to 3. I side shot his, and he still has more hit points than mine. Just shows the difference in these two. Destroys mine. Bringing in my Harrier. It's a Maverick. Destroys it. I brought in a seed plane, thinking maybe he had some radar AA. He does not. So it gets back to A. He's shelling where he thinks my command vehicle is. It was right there. He shelled it, so I moved it. These infantry are kind of on the open, and the machine guns on this are just tearing them to pieces. These infantry are very good at taking out infantry, not so good at taking out vehicles, so they get killed. But the vehicle support. It looks like he's planning a pretty good assault right here. Buying, investing a lot of points. Looks like he was, not spending his points how he should have. Because he bought, let's see, 2 55-point helicopters and 2 60-point helicopters, and then 2 155-point tanks, or 3 155-point tanks, a 30-point vehicle, and a 70-point vehicle, and then 40 points in supply. I mean, man, he just spent a whole bunch of points that he had been saving up. He would have invested more of those more constantly in these little battles we've had. he may have been able to have more commanding presence in these areas. Maybe even push me out. I don't recall. I think I was doing kind of the same, so it wouldn't have been like he wouldn't have been able to necessarily steamroll me. But he would have probably had a better position to negotiate perhaps a draw. I mean, not this time. He only has 4 minutes left. He'd have to destroy my 2-pointer. Probably have to destroy all my... I mean, basically how it works is you get whatever this is. Like right now it's +1. You get 1 point every 4 seconds, so... I'll do the math. How many points we need to get... I'm not sure how much more he needs than me to win. Because I know around the same score it's a draw. I just don't know how far that is. Looks like he's shelling my command vehicle. And the infantry squads I have in there. Looks like he's just sort of guess firing where he thinks my assets are. He gets it. He actually does hit it. So I move it out. I move my command vehicle out of harm's way to protect it. Then I'm gonna move it back in a second here. I have this infantry here and this infantry. I have not disembarked them. I really shouldn't. Then should disembark them and have them come up here and attack this town. But really, there's only 2 minutes left in this match. So. I can see this. Let's see. Okay, never mind. I can't see that. It's just because it's firing. I send in Strike Eagle. And artillery barrage. And it destroys his command tank. I'm back to a +1. I put this supply vehicle here to repair my command vehicle. Here comes his last ditch attack. Again, he would have to... Those tanks are just moving a lot slower. He would probably have to kill all my command vehicles at this point to win. Don't have my infantry. Still have some infantry in here, so that's not good. I lose them. That entire squad just died. I have my Harrier out here with its ATGM. He has... Let's see. He has a seed plane along with two ATGM or one ATGM plane and then one air superiority fighter. So again, that's, you know, 120 points, 135 points, and 155 points that he used to purchase. The seaplane takes out my my PVADs right here and then evacuates. And these planes are engaging my Harrier. It gets stunned by, I believe, the DAP here. Kind of sucks for him. He shoots down my Harrier. My Patriot goes active, shoots him down. He didn't evac it, so it gets taken out. So that was expensive. where that missile was going. Jeez. And that entire attack is defeated. And now it's me with +1 and game over. So that's me with 3,550 in kills and 1,385 in losses. Let's see if this guy has played recently. Yeah, he played today. He doesn't have a... He's still learning, obviously. He only has 10 multiplayer games, general multiplayer games, and then 35 ranked games. So yeah, I have a lot more experience than him. All right, that's it. See you on the next one.